So, welcome to Exennial Geek Podcast. Um, Today, it's been a little bit, but I wanted to go over back in May. I watched the last this new Punisher, um, and so they've never really made another Punisher movie since who knows when. It's been a good amount of years, but they've had the Punisher. They had the Punisher on Netflix, and he was also combined with the Daredevil and a couple other shows on Netflix. And then they have the Punisher that they're starting to get into the actual, instead of Marvel or instead of the Netflix, they're going to the Marvel universe because he's supposed to be in the new Spider-Man movie. And so Disney had a 1 hour um, movie with him or show with him about like where he's standing, and it took off. This kind of spoilers, sort of, so be careful. But my opinion is, so it started off like he had finished what he was doing. He got the revenge he wanted, kind of, or as close to as good as he could get. And then he was having episodes of PTSD. Now, if you don't know what PTSD is, it's a post-traumatic stress disorder. It was originally a diagnosis for soldiers only because of combat stress. Ended up to be where PTSD can be caused by multiple different things. Um, and it's where it pushes you into a trauma response. And some people can take a trauma response and recover, some people can't. And that's why it's PTSD. They'll get a trauma response from one incident, and then from that point on, they will always have similar problems with flashbacks to that incident and so on. Soldiers would have most of the time, what I would call CPTSD, which is complex PTSD, which is a PTSD caused by multiple incidents. So soldiers in multiple combat situations, that's complex PTSD. They could get PTSD from every single one of those battles. Where you also have people who can get PTSD from things like complex PTSD from like child abuse or sexual abuse. So like if you have a woman who lives with a battering husband or father, and then it goes to where she ends up with the same thing with a husband or boyfriend, both those incidents with her father and her boyfriend, those are all going to go adding to being her PTSD or complex PTSD. They'll all be things that she flashbacks to in those PTS episodes. So in this show, getting back to the show, it's showing him having these flashbacks to all these things, and in those things you get like the judgment of the characters in your mind, like you're not doing the job right, or you failed at something, or like this was too much, and it goes on like that. Um, and so he was having all these flashbacks, and they were kind of accurate on how, from what I know of people, I work in other departments, and one of them is or for peer support specialist, and with that, I've dealt with people with PTSD, and it's a whole complex disorder, and I can't even get into it. But the way they did it with that character was very good. I thought it was good. Now the only thing I had wrong with this show was it was kind of like, here's a battle, and then this is it. There was no like story. The whole thing was they centered around more about the PTSD and him battling that he finished his mission, and his sole mission was to get revenge on for his family and their death. And according to the episode, his state of mind, he thought he got that. Now, we all know why they kind of made it so by the end of this 1 hour thing, it seems like he's getting past that this is the only thing in life. That revenge was the only thing in life. Now he's getting to where there's more than revenge. And so with that, it kind of leaves the door open for, we all know that he's in Spider-Man. So this Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day coming out here in July. Well, guess what? The Punisher's in that. It'll be his first, this actor as the Punisher, the first time the Punisher from the Marvel universe or the Disney Plus universe will be on the movie. So this will be the first show of the Punisher. which means maybe we'll have possible Punisher in other movies, or we might have a Punisher movie of its own with that actor in the Marvel universe. So that's the thing. So they point him out so then he can be in Spider-Man, which is still Spider-Man is trying to get away from the Marvel universe a little bit, but it's still using it. It's making it more centered around Spider-Man's problems and not Marvel problems, which I get that. But so yeah, the Punisher's going to be in that, and so we'll probably learn some more from Punisher's involvement in the movie to his so how he's doing past that episode. But I thought the episode was pretty good. Like I said, I personally, with the way it was, I would have wanted more story. So like make it a couple episodes or make it a complete movie or something, 2.5 hour movie or something. Because the episode was mostly just, it had a little bit at the beginning, a little end of like his mental health and all that, which I say was, I think, pretty accurate from what I understand of some of the symptoms and all that of PTSD. I don't think they didn't like label it PTSD, but from the symptoms and stuff, it was pretty easy to point out that's what it was. And some of his reactions were some of the, when people have go psychotic, or not psychotic, but like they have a manic episode, and PTSD can trigger manic episodes. Then they can do some of the stuff he's doing, and they can be totally blown out of mind from that. And so that was a good thing. They did that. That was good to add to the story of the Punisher and how he's, where he stands and stuff. But like I've said, I think it should have been a complete, like multiple episodes or whole movie, because all it was one episode of just a lot of action. Very little of his complex mind and stuff and what's going on, but most of it was completely action. And so, I think it's okay, but at the same time, I figure they could have done better. I mean, I know they don't have all the time, and they don't want to put all the money into it because they're just starting it. So, but with that, I think that's a pretty good. Punisher's a pretty good one. The episode that they got on not Netflix, Disney Plus now is pretty good. If you really want to know the character, Disney Plus now has the episodes from Netflix of the Punisher. So I would 100% tell you to go watch. You can watch some. I think Daredevil has it in it, and then has some of them. But then you can go off on the episodes of the Punisher from Netflix original series, and then go to the Disney series. And the new Disney series with Daredevil, there is a couple of episodes in that where there is the Punisher. So you can kind of get more to the story of the character that they're trying to show coming up here in the Disney or Marvel universe coming up here soon. One thing to know, the Punisher, his character has always been kind of a, I don't know how to put it right, complex character with and most of it, in the early days, they didn't say anything about PTSD. They didn't even know what that was. And so his actions were just, he's a revenge dude for his wife and children and all this stuff. And that's why he goes and kills and punishes people for their crimes against other people. Nowadays, especially in this 1 hour movie, they really do get more into his whole PTSD and what that is and why he's the way he is. Which, like I said, opens the door for future use. I wouldn't be surprised another movie or anything like that. But anyways, so I will talk to you guys later. Also, my book is still on Amazon if you want to get it. Rift of Redemption, science fiction dystopian story. Really good if you like that stuff. But this will be for today. I will get back to you guys. If you want, um, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or just subscribe to this podcast. No matter what, have a good day.